back to the lesson series. So today we're going to be talking about warm-ups. I'm going to show you three different pretty simple warm-ups that I feel like will help you get ready to practice or get ready for the gig or get ready for the studio or whatever you want to do. So the first one we're going to talk about is mainly a hands warm-up. It's going to involve the feet as well a little bit, but I'm just going to explain the hands first. So in this exercise, there's going to be three different patterns, and they're all going to involve 8 on a hand. So, and if you don't know what I mean by 8 on a hand, it's just 8 strokes on each hand, right? So, the first pattern, just what it sounds like, is 8 on a hand. So, right, 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 left, 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 right? Pretty simple. So, and we'll think about it as 16th notes for now, okay? So, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And yeah, so try to make your strokes even, right? Try to make your hands even with each other. You kind of want the sound to come across the same way too. I mean, it helps when you have a matching pair of sticks. These sticks aren't perfectly matching, so the pitch is going to be a little bit different. I mean, it's not extremely crucial, but it helps you just to identify which hand might be stronger than the other or which hand might be lacking. So that's the first part. The second pattern we're going to do is we're just going to add a flam to the beginning of each of those 8-note groupings. So it'll go flam right, 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 flam left, 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 right? Pretty simple. And what we're going to focus on in these flams is trying not to accent them and also making them tight. We don't want a loose flam like, that's pretty exaggerated, you know, but, or we want a tight kind of military-esque flam. So, like that, right? Okay, so I'll do that. So again, it's 8 on a hand with the flam at the first note on each hand. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Okay, cool. So it's actually pretty hard not to accent the flams. I think a lot of times, at least for me, my tendency is when I play a flam, I kind of want to whack it, you know, pretty hard, and I just think that like this is a really good exercise because it teaches you to kind of control the volume of the flam. And then finally, the third pattern, you're still doing 8 on a hand, but you're going to add a few more flams. So you're going to add one on the first beat, right? So 1, right? And we're going to add one on the of 1. So 1 E and right? And then we're going to also have another one on beat 2 right after that, and then the and of 2. So it'll go 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, you're going to repeat the same thing with your left hand as well for beats 3 and 4. So 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1. Okay? And I forgot to say this earlier, this is actually an exercise that was taught to me by another one of my teachers at Temple, Rodney Green. If you don't know who he is, you should definitely check him out. One of the top jazz drummers in New York. He has a great trio named Jackson Miller. They've been playing a few Smalls live streams, and they do a bunch of stuff. And if you're looking for good records to check him out on, I would really recommend Greg Osby Band in New York and Luis Perdomo Links. He's awesome. He's an amazing drummer. He's great at blending, you know, tradition and innovation. And yeah, I took this exercise from him, and I noticed a drastic difference in how I feel going into practice when I do this warm-up first. So this warm-up is really intended to, you know, be something short that you do before the gig on a practice pad. I don't have a practice pad. I forgot it with me when I traveled down to Texas, so I'm using a rag on my snare. You know, it's like it can be a quick 5-minute warm-up. I think that's its original intention. I found it really helps when I do it for even longer too. You know, you could do it for 30 minutes. I've done it for an hour sometimes, and you know, when the longer you do it, I feel like the better your hands feel after. And it's also a good chop building exercise, you know, to bump up the tempo. But we'll get to that. So I'm gonna do 4 measures of each, just for now. But I would say, you know, to do it at least 8 measures at a time on each pattern. I like to do 16 sometimes, you know, or just open. I like to keep it open until I really feel like I'm playing it consistently. You know, I've heard the expression, like, if you play something 5 times in a row correctly, that's how you know you've got it. So I would even argue that you could go further than that. And just because you play something 16 times in a row doesn't mean it sounds good. You really have to be honest with yourself. And so I'll do it for 4 measures on each pattern. Again, the first pattern is just 8 on a hand and 16th notes. Second is 8 on a hand, but we're going to add a flam on the first on each hand. Again, in 16th notes. And then the third pattern is we're going to add flams in this rhythm. 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and, right? But we're still playing 16th notes and 8 on a hand around that. I'll move this cymbal a little bit just so you can hopefully see it a little better. I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. Okay, so I'm going to put on my metronome at 60. And I'm going to play 16th notes, like I said. And then I'll tell you what your feet can do with this. So here's our tempo. 1, 2, ready, and go. E and O. E and O, 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 So now we're going to add our feet into that. So our bass drum is going to go boom, 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 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, right? So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then our hi-hat is going to play on the ands. So it's kind of like a double time bossa feet pattern. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And we're going to do the hands on top of that. Okay? So 4 measures on each again. Again, we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, a dotted eighth followed by a 16th note on every beat with the bass drum. And then we're playing every and with our left foot on the hi-hat. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and go. And 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 3 now flams. So that wasn't perfect by any means. My flams could get a little sloppy at times, and I don't know if my hands were extremely consistent. But again, you know, you just have to recognize these tendencies, and I would obviously spend a lot more time on each one of those, and I'm really picky about when I move on, so I kind of get obsessive sometimes, so I might not even move on fast enough. I might spend, you know, like 7 minutes at a time on each pattern until I really feel like I've got it down and comfortable and consistent. But for the brevity sake of this exercise or of this lesson, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that's our first warm-up. The second warm-up that I'm going to show you is it kind of utilizes accents and paradiddles. So, and the different types of paradiddles. So in this exercise, we're going to work on our single paradiddles and our triple paradiddles and our double paradiddles. And the exercise is going to go like this. It's going to go 2 measures of regular paradiddles, right? So paradiddle, 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 right? I'm accenting the first note of that. And these are eighth notes. I'm going to think about them as eighth notes. And then, so that's 2 measures. The next 2 measures are just going to be a triple paradiddle starting on each hand. So 2 total, 1 starting on the right, 1 starting on the left. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? And then lastly, the next 4 measures are going to be a combination of double paradiddles and single paradiddles. So you're going to do a 2 double paradiddles, 1 starting on your right, 1 starting on your left, and then you're going to do a right single paradiddle, right? So right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Then you're going to do the same pattern starting with your left. So it's going to go 1 double paradiddle starting on your left, followed by 1 starting on your right, and then a single paradiddle starting with your left. And that's the whole exercise, right? So I'll go through it. Again, I'll just talk through it, and then I'll play through it, and then I'll show you some different things you can do with it. So during this, we're also going to be playing with our bass drum on quarter notes and our hi-hat on 2 and 4, kind of like jazz, at what we would in normal jazz time. So I'll put on a tempo. I'll do, let's say 80 beats per minute. And yeah, that's good. So our tempo would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So again, just one more time before I do this, it's going to be 2 measures of single paradiddles, right? So right, left, left, left. Then 2 measures of triple paradiddles. So that'll be 1 starting with each hand. So 1 triple paradiddle starting on the right, 1 triple paradiddle starting on the left. And then the next 4 measures will be 2 double paradiddles followed by a single paradiddle, and you're going to repeat it. So the first 2 measures are going to start with your right. It'll be right, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, and then do the same thing starting with your left hand. And really make sure that you're accenting, the right way, and that you're really making a difference between your accents and your taps. On the paradiddles, I accent the first note. On the triple paradiddles, I accent every right hand before the doubles, and then same thing with the left. And on the doubles, I accent every right hand of the singles and every left hand of the singles when I'm starting with my left. So it sounds more complicated than it is. I'm sure when you listen to this, you'll understand what I'm saying. So at 80 beats per minute, I'll try it just on the snare, and then I'll show you a couple other things you can do with this. All right. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 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 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Sorry, my metronome cut out there. Somebody's calling me. So popular. But yeah, you get the idea. So, okay, now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna move my Bluetooth speaker so that I can do it the way I want to. So we're gonna put the accents on the toms. Okay. So same thing with the feet. Accents on the toms. 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 Okay, great. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the accents on the cymbals. So I'm going to put my right hand accents on my cymbal on the right, my left hand on my cymbal on the left. And with every accent, this is where the bass drum is going to change. Your bass drum is just going to play with the accents instead of playing every quarter note. Your hi-hat will still be on 2 and 4. So for example, the first measure will go 1 and 2 and 1, right? And then triple will go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, you get the idea. So I'll play it through again. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1 and 2 All right, cool. So right after that, we'll do a couple more, and now I'm gonna put the doubles on the toms instead of the accents. So I'm gonna play the accents and the first, or some of the tap notes on the snare. But every time there's a double, I'm gonna put it on the toms. So I'll put my bass drum back to quarter notes, just regular jazz time, right? So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and again the doubles are gonna be on the toms now. 1, 2, ready, go. And 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and stop. Okay, so the last variation I'll show you. There's so many more that you can come up with. I'm sure you'll find some on your own. But I'm going to do basically the same thing I just did, but I'm going to put the doubles on the cymbals, and I'm going to add the bass drum with it. So again, we're taking the bass drum away from the quarter notes, and we're kind of adding it to the doubles. So for example, a single paradiddle will go, right? Okay, so hi-hat's still on 2 and 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4. Okay, cool. So this exercise is cool because I think it kind of opens you up around the kit, when you're warming up. It's a good thing. I would like to do it after I do that warm-up I previously showed you, but you could start with it too. And just to be honest, I don't warm up every time I practice. In a perfect world, I would, but I do notice that when I do warm up and do these things, I feel a lot better about my practicing. So yeah, and it's cool, especially when you get faster, because I'll turn the snare on for this. It kind of sounds like a cool lick, especially with that last variation we did, like. And then you can kind of mess around with the orchestration too. You could put the accents on the toms and then the doubles on the cymbal, right? So, like this. I messed it up, but I'll go a little slower. Mix them up like I just did. So yeah, just mess around with it a little bit. Okay, and then the final thing I'm going to show you, and this may seem super simple, but it's it's a really good way to just kind of zen out and really focus on your time aspect and of your warm up, and making sure your tempo is locked. So I'll just break down this exercise and then I'll put on the metronome. So it's going to start with quarter notes on the ride cymbal, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add in our bass drum. 2, here we go. 1, and we're feathering. 2, 3, and by feathering I mean playing really lightly, right? I'm just playing with almost the tip of my toe. And it's still pretty loud because this is a 22. But just focus on playing as quietly as you can. And locking exactly in, right? 2, 3. Now I'm going to add in my left foot on quarter notes. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And then lastly, my snare. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know you're probably saying, oh man, that's super simple, just quarter notes on everything. And it seems that way, but you're going to put on the metronome, and you're going to find, at least the first couple times I did this, I found that it's really hard to lock everything in exactly together and lock it into a metronome. And that's why I think it's good to go about it incrementally. You know, start with your ride cymbal, then add your bass drum, then your left foot, then your snare, right? And also another focus of this exercise is you really want your ride cymbal, your right hand, to be the focal point. You want that to be the loudest part of the exercise. I actually was taught this exercise from a good friend of mine named Jay Sawyer. He's another drummer who lives in New York, and if you don't know him, please check him out. He's really great. He's an amazing educator. I've learned so many things from him. And yeah, I remember when he showed me this exercise, it was super humbling because I thought like, oh man, it's quarter notes. That's really easy. But it, you know, you really want to do this exercise at as slow as of a tempo as you can, because it's much harder to play quarter notes at a slow tempo than it is at a medium or fast tempo. And that tempo I just did was probably way too fast. So I know some people don't trust when metronomes go lower than 60 beats per minute, but I like to set mine to, like, you know, 45 or 50 when I do this exercise. I'll do it at 50. 2, 3. So this is my tempo, and I'm just gonna really focus on making sure everything's locked in. And I'm probably gonna mess it up because this is super hard at this tempo. So 1, 2, and just relax. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it helps to subdivide triplets. 2, 3, 4, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. Foot, here I go. 1 triplet, 2 triplet. See, my bass drum was too loud there. 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. All right, after this hi-hat, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 now snare, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 1 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplets. Okay. So, yeah, it seems a lot easier than it is when you're actually doing it. A really cool thing to do with this too is like a metronome game. And if you aren't familiar with that, it's just when you move the metronome to a different part of the beat instead of the downbeat. So right now it's on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, want to do is move the metronome to the last part of the triplet, so the third partial of the triplet. So, let one trip, let two, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 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 2 triplet, 3 So that really helps keep you honest because you have to be, it's like another level of focus, right? And this is almost as much of a mental warm-up as it is a physical act of, putting your body in a place where it can play all 4 things at the same time. So, yeah, I really hope you enjoy this. Just a reminder, I am offering discounted virtual lessons if that's something you might be interested in, or you know somebody who might be interested in it and you want to give it to them as a gift. Just hit me up. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, please feel free to hit me up. I really appreciate all the support you guys give me on this page. And I hope that was informational for you. And I hope everybody has a good rest of the holiday season. I'll probably give you another lesson before New Year's, but for those who celebrate Christmas, have a Merry Christmas. And, I know Hanukkah finished a little while ago, so I just hope everybody's having a great time and, spending time with their family if they can, or if you're quarantining at home, I hope you're staying sane. I know how hard it is, so feel free to reach out, and hope this helps with your practice. And again, if you have any questions, just hit me up. I'd be happy to answer. Have a great rest of your day, y'all.